Right, this is our special needs group going to the Make-A-Wish Touratech. We got me, we got Justin, we got Sebastian. We're gonna die. We're off to a solid start because Justin's cardo is not working. And yeah, we're hot. For traveling on a motorcycle, I-15 isn't it. It has some pretty views, but for the most of the time, you're just surrounded by traffic or people cutting in front of you in the HOV lane. Gets a little bit better once you head out into the countryside, headed towards Brigham City, but other than that, definitely don't recommend freeway travel on an adventure bike. After passing through the I-84 exit, I obviously did not film the cool part of the mountain range, but now we are treated to the wide open flat. This is basically going to be our journey for the next 4 hours. Slowly but surely, we grind down the boring freeway, making it closer to our next fuel stop in Snowville, Utah. Got Justin eating a banana at our first gas stop. And we got Sebastian refueling and relaxing. We're 100 and something miles in. It's already awful.
It's already awful.
As we get back on the freeway, we get one last glimpse at the pretty neat promontory mountains and head off into the abyss of flat land called Idaho. Sometimes crossing into a new state is exciting and interesting, but you have the northern Utah crossing on I-84. That was it. Welcome to Idaho. Thankfully, dodging all the rain clouds that were caught up in the mountains to the southeast of Burley, we pulled into our second gas stop in Twin Falls, Idaho. After the refuel and some eats, we head over into the actual city of Twin Falls, crossing over the Snake River. This is a pretty cool bridge. I highly recommend stopping here. It's a unique town. There's people who actually base jump off this bridge, and it's a pretty cool sight to see. Definitely also recommending stopping at Shoshone Falls while you ride through here. We just didn't have the time, unfortunately. After Twin Falls, we passed through highway number 30, taking a little break from I-84 and the terrible wind gusts that Idaho provides. This is a super neat highway section. It runs through some small towns, and then you come down and pass by the Snake River. There's a few areas of interest. The 1000 Springs has a ton of waterfalls, and there's a few cool little campgrounds and areas to check out. Definitely worth the detour off the freeway to go through this beautiful area. Highway 30, also known as the 1000 Springs Scenic Byway, it holds some pretty neat waterfalls coming off the escarpments, falling down into the Snake River below. Once we leave the 1000 Springs behind and cross over the Snake and go through Hagerman, we head up Highway 30 with a pretty cool climb out of the valley. Has some views, and we're headed towards a little town called Bliss, which intersects I-84 and 30. After we pass through Bliss, rather than torturing ourselves on the windy freeway, we decide to hop off again and continue on Old Highway 30. This is a highway section that runs just along the interstate for a little bit until Glenn's Ferry. We get stuck behind a slow van, pass it, and continue on. This is some beautiful kind of rural roads that are just enjoyable to cruise rather than grinding it out on the freeway. Once again drop down into the Snake River Valley, headed towards a small community called King Hill. There's some pretty sights along this road, definitely worth taking a detour. Don't forget to stop by the Petrified Watermelon Farm. You're supposedly supposed to take some of those home to your mother-in-law, but thankfully I'm not married yet, so didn't have to carry one home with me. Surely but slowly, we make our way to the dreaded I-84. We're going to hop on at Glenn's Ferry and then hoof it basically to Boise. That was the end of our little break on Old Highway 30. Definitely worth a little detour to get us off and let us relax a little bit. Making our way through Boise, Idaho, we're treated to a beautiful sunset and making our way to our campsite for the night. So in all my adventure planning wisdom, I thought we could make it from Lehi, Utah, all the way to Baker City Airport, which is a abandoned airport just to the south of Baker City in the mountains. And that was hopefully going to be our camp destination, but we didn't make it. With the sun setting down in Boise, we had to cut it a little bit short. So instead of staying at this super cool airport, we ended up south towards a little tiny mining ghost town that they used to run a dredge on. There are a few scary buildings in this area, so we went further down the road and eventually camped in a gravel pit.
Everybody had a peaceful night at our campsite in Oregon. Got everyone ready to go, everyone ready to boogie. Let's go.
After rounding up some cattle, we start to head back towards pavement and civilization. We're taking a little bit more of a scenic way, avoiding I-84 as much as possible. We're headed over the pass from Bridgeport to Salisbury. This is a super fun road with lots of twists and turns, and it's home to the Baker Air Force Station, which is where we were hoping to camp but didn't make it. But we're kind of glad we didn't because it was cold on top of the mountain. As we cleared over the mountain pass, we started to run into some beautiful lodgepole pines. Cruising through here, the weather was getting cooler and cooler, and we saw some clouds on the horizon. I was glad I threw on my actual heavy ADV jacket, the MSR Explorer, rather than wearing the mesh jacket that I had the day before. Coming to the intersection of Highway 7, we take a left to go to the west and head towards the town Sumpter. twists and turns of the valleys finally slow down as we make our way into the valley where they used to run the dredge. This is a neat little area with a ton of history around it, especially with mining. It's definitely worth a longer stop than we did. But we had places to be, so we had to keep on rolling. We did make a quick stop by the dredge, and that was a pretty cool sight to check out. After filling up the bikes and getting some energy drinks in me, we finally headed over the mountain pass. This would be probably one of our highest passes yet.
It is cold.
I was trying to get my stupid elastic beds to this down. I was trying to do it while riding and I couldn't do it. Why is it 50 degrees?
Huh?
Why is it 50 degrees?
Because it's the mountains.
Are we going up still?
Yeah.
Another layer.
After zipping up vents and bundling up for another cold mountain pass, we head over. We're heading back towards Hillgard, where we're going to hop on I-84 and then take the freeway the rest of the way to Touratech. As we got higher into the mountains and followed the rivers and the forests, slowly the roads kind of lost their markings and got even smaller. It was pretty fun riding through this area, and I hope to ride it again. After having our fun on some pretty highway sections, we decided to hit the freeway just right out of Hillgard and actually pound out some miles. This would get us closer to our destination a lot quicker than taking the scenic way. After a short burst of beautiful trees and scenic roads on the freeway, we entered into the Washington wastes. This was probably the most boring section of the trip, as it was basically flat with nothing to look at. You start to lose your mind after riding a certain amount of freeway miles through this desert, especially when there's no dirt involved. We rode some dirt sections on the way back and it was 10 times better. Luckily though, we eventually came to another fun section just north of Yakima where we diverged off of the freeway and took this sweet canyon. Slowly and surely, we got out of the wastes and into the mountains. The closer we got to Touratech, the more and more motorcycles we kept seeing, which was kind of a cool sight to see. It was a beautiful area driving through Leavenworth all the way to Plain, where the rally was held. Probably the coolest part of the trip was finally getting to our destination where we crested over the hill, and it's hard to see on camera, but to the right there was a field full of motorcycles and a bunch of people. There were bikes coming in and going out, and we were excited to be in Plain, Washington for Touratech 2024.
Finally made it. 2 days from Payson. It took us 2 days from Payson, but we made it.
Made it.
Got tent set up. Got the bike basically stripped down, ready to go off-roading. Got the potties over there. Got the forest trail over there. Got the main booth over there. Yeah, it's a real pretty area. And we got our friends from Idaho right there. They're on a ride. We're freaking too tired to go on a ride. It was good. We made it.
Thanks for watching. I'm super slow at editing, so this probably took about 6 months for me to edit, considering that I'm posting it in 2025, which I might be going to Touratech 2025. I look forward to it. I want to go again. We'll see what happens. Thanks for joining me on the journey. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and hopefully you get to go to Touratech. It's worth it. Highly recommend it. I don't know why you watched 33 minutes of me riding a motorcycle, but I think you should really get on your motorcycle and go have an adventure of your own. See you next time. on Nomadic Pigeon.